There's a new ritual weapon this season, the brand new fusion rifle, Null Composure. And to be fair, I haven't put a whole lot of playtime into it yet. However, my initial impression is that it's meh. Let's talk about it. So just like the past two seasonal ritual weapons we've gotten, Null Composure has a set of perks for column 1 and 2, and 2 options in the 3rd and 4th column. This fusion rifle comes with Fluted Barrel and Projection Fuse. Then in the 3rd column, the option between Feeding Frenzy and Heating Up. Heating Up is a new perk this season. Final blows with this weapon increase accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil. In the last column, we have the option of Reservoir Burst or High Impact Reserves. Reservoir Burst is a perk that was previously found only on the loaded question, but has been added back into the game with Season of the Splicer. Reservoir Burst states that when your battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode on death. This perk also gives a magazine bonus. To me, the obvious pairing of Feeding Frenzy and Reservoir Burst makes the most sense for PvE, and Heating Up and High Impact Reserves for PvP. Let's talk about PvE first. I used Null Composure for some Gambit matches and the seasonal activity override, and I've got to say that I felt very underwhelmed by it. Feeding Frenzy is a nice perk to have on any gun for PvE. Kills give you a reload speed bonus stacking up to 5 times. But Reservoir Burst is where I run into issues with this gun. Part of the issue is the fact that this is a rapid fire frame fusion rifle. Compared to the other fusion rifle archetypes, it has the lowest impact and therefore does the least amount of damage. And I found that sometimes I wouldn't get the kill and be left with what was basically a normal fusion rifle in my hand. Part of that is user error on my part. I'm just out of practice with fusion rifles. It's clear to me that the intended role for this weapon is ad clear. Take a group of trash ads, get a kill, have the whole group explode, stack up Feeding Frenzy, and then rinse and repeat. However, as soon as you don't have enough ammo to completely fill up your magazine, the Reservoir Burst perk is useless. The way I see it, everything that Null Composure does, Salvager Salvo, last season's ritual weapon, does better. The perk combination I usually run on Salvagers for ad clear is Ambitious Assassin and Chain Reaction. Both guns function very similarly: get a group of ads, and kill one to blow up the whole group, but Chain Reaction doesn't require you to have a full magazine. I could be down to my very last shot for Salvagers and Chain Reaction would still blow up the entire group of ads. Where with Null Composure, with a single shot left, at best, I can kill the ads that are lined up. At worst, I kill one or I don't kill anything. I get what Bungie was trying to do with this fusion rifle, but I feel like they missed the mark. If we compare Null Composure to Loaded Question, the biggest difference is simply the archetype. Loaded Question was a high impact frame fusion rifle and simply did more damage because of that. Reservoir Burst was also nerfed in the most recent patch that came out with Season of the Splicer. The bonus damage was brought down to 25% from 33%, and now it increased the magazine size. I think that the changes were a little bit too much. Maybe go with one or the other. To me, Reservoir Burst is an attempt at giving you a reason to run fusion rifle over other things, and it falls flat for me. But if you want to play with Reservoir Burst and not feel like you're using a water pistol, there is the Plug 1.1. Another new fusion rifle this season. It is one of the Nightfall exclusive weapons, and at the time of writing this, it is the weapon dropping this week. I haven't gotten one to drop for myself yet, but looking at its perk pool, it can get almost the exact same role as Null Composure. The only perk not available on the Plug 1 is High Impact Reserves. You can get the same exact barrel, magazine, and Feeding Frenzy Reservoir Burst combo. In comparing the base stats of these two guns, Plug 1 has a higher base impact, range, stability, and reload speed. Just going off those base stats alone, I see no reason to choose Null Composure over Plug 1 if you have that role on Plug 1. And in the Crucible, Null Composure, well, it's a fusion rifle. I feel like that sums it up pretty well. I did give it a chance in PvP. I went in with Heating Up and High Impact Reserves for the perks, which I feel like would be a great combo on any other fusion. However, it was not a fun experience. But to be fair, I haven't used fusion rifles in the Crucible much since D1 when you could use Saladin's Vigil and kill people across the map. Heating Up on paper is great, especially for something like a fusion rifle. However, the impact is so low, at best I could trade with someone, but for the most part I would lose the gunfight altogether, or they would get away with a little bit of health left. Even with high impact reserves and high energy fire, I found it difficult to secure kills. To get the few kills that I did manage to get, I either had to find someone that was already weak or use 2 shots, which would often result in me getting a shotgun shoved down my throat before I got that second shot off. Fusion rifles aren't in the best spots right now, and if you're using a fusion rifle in PvP, you're either crazy or you're true Vanguard. But jokes aside, if you're going to use a fusion in PvP, wouldn't you use something with a higher impact? Unless your heart is really set on specifically using Null Composure, I don't see the point in handicapping yourself by using that weapon, especially considering the state of fusions in the current sandbox, combined with the current state of close quarters combat with shotguns and stasis being the way they are right now. But that's a whole nother discussion on its own. To sum up, the idea for Null Composure is there, just the execution fell flat in my opinion. Fusions struggle in a lot of ways right now, and I don't see myself using Null Composure in any activities outside of maybe something with a Void Burn. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm a big dummy who has no idea what he's talking about? I appreciate all y'all that made it to the end of the video. I wish you the best of luck farming for God rolls this season, and I'll catch you next time.